Niners Weekly for Week 9 of the 2024 season. This is Nick, joined always by Kevin.
What's up, Niner Nation?
Producer Brad, making it all go.
Hey.
What's up, boys? How we doing?
Doing good.
Doing all right.
Had a big day today, right?
Yeah, we had a big day. We're going to get into that. You notice Kevin's rocking his New York Yankees lid today, so we'll get into that. We're actually going to spend some time tonight talking about Pro Niners. But first, I think we need to get into what everybody tunes into this show for on a weekly basis. Coach Harward, we need to hear about the 12U Concord A's. I know y'all had a big tournament this weekend down in Charleston. So what's the latest with the 12U Concord A's?
We had a good weekend. We went 2-1 down there. We made our gold bracket, made the Final Four, finished third in our division. So pretty good weekend. It was a great facility, best facility I've ever played on, coached on, or anything like that. Ended up coaching against a guy that plays for the Savannah Bananas, knows 49er Reese Hampton, Dakota McFadden, I believe his name was. We talked a little bit about Reese and playing for the Bananas. I think he is actually going to be on the new firefighters team. The Savannah, they have the Bananas, they have the party animals, and now the firefighters. He's going to be a player coach for the Savannah firefighters. So we're firemen. I don't know which one it is, but it's the third team on that brand. But good time, good trip. Perfect weather for baseball. That facility, I believe, they hosted a college tournament early this spring for some teams from the Northeast. Went down there and played at that facility. So it's really nice. All turf fields, great barbecue joint right next to it. So if you haven't been out to Shipyard, head down there. Maybe the Niners will play there one day in the early season tournament if it gets big down there.
Baseball field and a barbecue joint. You pretty much had everything you needed.
Yes, and ice cream, an ice cream spot right there on premises.
Perfect. I'm sold. When do we leave? The fireman you brought up, Spencer Nolan's brother, is going to play for the firemen this year as well. So we got Niner connections all over Savannah, apparently.
That's right.
So yeah, that's cool. It's my own fault, I guess. The Bananas were right here in Kannapolis last year, and I didn't make it out to see it. So I've seen parts of that on TV. I've still never been to see the Bananas play. Maybe I'll eventually do that. It is.
Hard to get now. Yeah.
It is. I remember when what's the guy's name? Jesse Cole? Is that right?
Yeah. Right.
Started. He was in the CPL in Gastonia, and wanted to do that. And then he left Gastonia, went to Savannah, and then he took that team out of the CPL and went off and did this other thing. And I'll be honest with you, I thought, well, that's never going to work. But
I do. We went to the Grizzlies games, and he started those crazy promotions then.
Yep.
And actually, Josh Maciejewski played. We saw Josh Maciejewski pitch for the Gastonia Grizzlies back then. And
he was already wearing the tuxedo and the top hat and everything back then.
Well, yeah, the players had the tuxedo jerseys then too, and they made all the bullpen pitchers do the between innings dancing and all that.
Yeah,
but it's a crazy brand of baseball, but the kids love it, and it's very popular now.
Yeah, I mean, they must, as many people as go out to see them play, they must be doing all right on the financials. So good on them for coming up with something that works and bringing people to sort of the game. It's sort of baseball, I guess. It's baseball based. Let's put it that way.
Banana
ball. Yeah. So cool. Glad the 12U Concord A's had a big weekend. What'd you say? Finished third?
Finished third, yeah.
Finished third. So that's solid. Very respectable. Glad to see you guys making some progress. So let's talk about the week in Niner baseball. We really want to spend time on the Pro Niners tonight. and for good reason. With the news about Josh Maciejewski today, breaking just a short time before we got on here. But we need to talk about the week that was in Niner baseball. Very cool opportunity midweek to go to a fairly new stadium. I think Segra Park has been open. I don't know, Kevin. It's I believe it might be a year newer than the park than Atrium Health here in Kannapolis. If not, they're about the same age. And by all accounts, that's a really nice facility. The Woodpeckers play there. They're the single A affiliate of the Houston Astros. And Niners got to play Campbell down there. One of the stranger ball games I've witnessed. The Niners gave up 12 runs in the first inning. And if you take the first inning out of it, Niners outscored the Campbell Camels 9-1 in that game, and end up losing 13-9. The whole game had a strange vibe to it. That's all I can say. Good on the guys. Woody is always saying there's no clock in baseball, and it's so true. So you can always come back. As long as there's an out left, you can come back. But strange ball game, to say the least, Kevin.
Yeah, and I hate that the game wasn't on TV. We couldn't see it, but I did listen to Joe quite a bit throughout the evening. And, yeah, tough inning. I mean, probably one of the longest innings I've seen in Niner baseball. But, yeah, like you said, take that first inning out, and it's a totally different ball game. But can't really
and yes,
do that.
we know it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, because, I mean, obviously, playing with a 12-1 lead is a lot different than playing 0-0.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. But they did fight back. Niners fought back. We forced them into a couple pitching changes in that ninth inning, or one pitching change. And we made them work for those 3 outs in that ninth inning for sure. It ended up popping 4 off in the ninth to make it a 13-9 final. But yeah, very strange game. Kind of wish we had seen some of it to give a more of an analysis on it, but unfortunately, we didn't get to see the game.
Yeah, midweek baseball is weird anyway, and then stuff like that happens, and it is what it is, So Niners come back to town long enough probably to have practice and do their laundry and then head out on Thursday to San Antonio. We've been going down there for a while now, one of the Conference USA 6 that we came over with. And we said this going into the series that you know what you're going to get with San Antonio. They play a very gritty, tough brand of baseball. They're not afraid to play small ball. They play fundamental baseball, and they capitalize on your mistakes. And they've done that for quite a while now. They're always in contention in the league, and as it happens right now, they're sitting on top of the league standings after taking 2 or 3 from the Niners. Interestingly enough, the story on Friday night, though, was another quality start by Cole Reynolds. Cole did the job, pitched 5 innings, and then we saw what I think Woody and Coach O and the staff would like for this to look like. A starter goes 5 innings. We use A.J. Wilson as a bridge to get to Tony. And that series of events played out, and the Niners got the Friday win. Kevin, that's what it's supposed to look like. When they draw it up, when they draw it up on the whiteboard, that's what they want to do. That's what they want it to look like.
Right, and that combination has been successful this year. And I think we look back at the games we've won in similar fashion. if you draw it up, if you draw up a perfect game for the Niners, that's what you would do. That's what would happen if we could draw up a perfect game. You score multiple runs, 2 or 10 runs, 5 innings out of your starter, AJ for 2 or 3, and then Tony closes it out. Some form or fashion of that, and that formula has worked most part of the season for the most part.
Yeah, and then I mean Saturday and Sunday, I don't know what to say about that. I mean it's not good stuff going on Saturday and Sunday. There are a few positive trends here that I think we can note, but overall, the performances on Saturday and Sunday is just not what the staff or the players are aiming for. I know this is not what they expect of themselves, and it's just you have those stretches, you have those times, Kevin. It's just you're reaching for answers, and it's frustrating.
Right. Yes. You're looking for positive. We talked about in previous shows that we were getting the defense right. We had one error on the weekend in 3 games, so that's a positive. But it's tough to win games when you're allowing so many runs on a weekend like that. You win win game 1, and then over a 2-game span you give up several runs, and it's tough to win when you give up that many runs.
27-5 over Saturday and Sunday.
And our offense has struggled some this year. Add that into the fact that we give up a lot of runs. That's not a good combination. Sometimes that happens, man. Sometimes it happens.
There's some other stuff going on here. There's some other positives we can point to. Some of these young guys that we really coming into the season weren't sure how much we would see them as freshmen have really emerged. Reed Hare has really been impressive, swinging a hot bat. Johnny Sutrick has kind of been there periodically all season. The way Johnny's hitting the ball, AJ being Kina. Let me be clear about saying that right. AJ being Kina, bat and lead off is showing some promise as well. So, some of these young guys are emerging, and that's fun to think about as far as the future goes and the rest of this season and beyond. And then, Kevin, we've been talking about this forever. Okay, I'm about to use a basketball analogy, but I think it holds here. Back in the heyday of 49er basketball, back when you and I were in the student section and young alums going to basketball games, we used a lot of JUCO players, and they would be here for 2 years. And it seems like the pattern was that first year was them getting acclimated. And it took them almost that first year just to get their feet under them. And then their second year as seniors, they would really come on. And about the time you were like, man, I wish we had this guy for another year, they were gone. And that happened over and over again on the basketball front. I can put it in the baseball world too. You think about a guy like that was like Paxton Thompson, that was really kind of one of the unsung heroes or one of the unsung pieces of our turnaround at the end of last season. Was Paxton, his ability to come in. Paxton was never a thrower; he was a pitcher. And he really put it together the second half of his senior season. Hopefully what we can see some of that progression from the JUCO players that we have, because we've got quite a number of them, and some of them have adjusted better than others. You can point to a guy like Juan Correa. And Juan, if you're if you're watching this, nothing personal, but it just wasn't going well to start the season. But you have seen Juan adjust over, I would say, about the last, I don't know, we want to say 3 weeks. Maybe it's been a little longer than that. But Juan Correa started hitting the ball, and he's so powerful. When he does that, he's slugging right now. And we saw that over the weekend. So it's not about not having, I wouldn't say it's not about having talent on the roster. It's about making adjustments at this point, and that's what we got to be looking for.
Right. You mentioned the recruiting. The recruiting has changed so much since the days you were talking about with our basketball program. Today's recruiting is more microwave. You microwave recruit now, and you're not slowly bringing guys along really as much as you used to, because you got the portal. You don't have to sit out. And if you remember our basketball team, when we had transfers, when they sat out that year, that's when they kind of got their feet under them and they hit the ground running when they were eligible. But it's a lot different now as far as recruiting, and it takes a time. It's some players or most players. It's an adjustment period when you're going up to different level of baseball. It's a different level of baseball than the JUCO level to D1 baseball, playing in AAC, in the AAC conference. And
the non-conference we play.
Yeah, we're playing one of the toughest schedules in the country right out of the gate. No breathers. There were no breathers on our schedule really, especially on the weekends. We scheduled very heavy, and we're hoping to reap the rewards of that later this season or into next season. Having those guys face the fire and
you've seen flashes of it,
right? Of course, yeah. Right. I mean, we've won a game every weekend. We haven't been swept. We're right there with. 2-1, 1-2. Some of these series have been very close games. All 3 games really. So, it's right there. I think it's.
I mean, this weekend, you take Friday and you celebrate that for what it is, and then Saturday and Sunday you just gotta flush it and move on. I mean, it's.
Yeah, we mentioned that combo. Your starting pitcher going 5, and then Ross, and then AJ to Rossi. Well, we went back to that on Sunday, and it just didn't work out the same. It didn't work out the same on Sunday as it did on Friday.
So, I think we've said this a couple weeks ago. I mean, we're always, especially you, Kevin, we're always looking for the positives. We're always looking for, we've just lost a game, by some score, and we're sitting over there talking about, but did you see that freshman? Did you see the way that guy produced right there? we're grabbing a hold of something, right? And I mean, that's us, but we've only been doing this for,
too long,
a long time.
You like to see growth. You like to see progression towards something. And that's what you look for. You look for what's going to happen next year, what's going to happen down the road, what's going to happen in the tournament, what's going to happen 3 weeks from now when we're in crunch time. So, and
as we saw last season, the way things are going right now can change very quickly. Because I don't think a lot of people had that run we went on last season on their bingo card. I mean, I know that we believed that team was capable of that the entire time. That was one of the things about last season was we were like, no, these guys are capable of winning big games, and they did. They proved it. And then this year we're trying to break in some new guys and trying to get some guys up to speed, and sometimes that's frustrating. And we'll weather this the same way we do everything else, Kevin. We're always looking for that next, hey, it can turn around, and that's what we're always focused on.
Yeah, and like I said, it can always can always, like I said,
Yeah.
catch fire and things click down the road, down in the crunch time.
I will add, it is my responsibility on this show to point this out. And those of you, if you're still hanging with us, you know, A&T comes into the Hayes on Tuesday. So that's, by the time you're seeing this, it might be today. This show usually comes out on Tuesday afternoons. So 6 o'clock at the Hayes on Tuesday night against A&T. And Kevin, we were looking over their schedule and some of their results. You know, I hate to say this, but A&T looks a little dangerous to me. They've lost some games, but they've got some nice looking wins too. Played some people tough, and I mean they're coming down here. They're making a bus trip from Greensboro down to Charlotte, and they're looking to win an in-state matchup. So they're going to be fired up.
All right. Well, they just came off a weekend at Campbell, and they won Friday night at Campbell 13-6. Ended up losing the series, but they lost in a walk-off in 10 innings on Sunday. So definitely a formidable opponent. If you go by that, they've got some. They beat South Florida, another common opponent. They beat them. They lost the series, but they won the Sunday match against South Florida. So yes, definitely some common opponents, and certainly they will not be taken lightly. They are definitely a dangerous team, and we have had problems with them in the past.
Oh yeah,
it's been a while since we played them, but we have had problems with them in the past. So
well,
it's gonna be back at Hayes though. It'll be good to be back home at the Hayes and be able to check that game out at home.
What I would say is that the story on A&T is that, particularly baseball wise, they have gone from the MEAC. They moved from the MEAC to the Big South, and they were in the Big South maybe only a year. Kevin, they weren't there very long, but that's a good baseball league. They nothing against the MEAC, but it's not a great baseball league. They went from the MEAC to the Big South, but then they went from the Big South into the CAA, the old Colonial. I think they call themselves the Coastal now, the Coastal Athletic Association. But they're in there with programs like Campbell, like UNC Wilmington, like College of Charleston, and so they're in a much improved baseball league, and I think that has changed some of the types of players that they're recruiting now. So. Yeah, this is not going to be a pushover Tuesday night at the Hayes. So we'll have to see how that plays out. And then, oh, by the way, speaking of in-state matchups, we travel. We make our first trip to East Carolina as a member of the AAC. I swear the AAC schedule makers, they made us go to Greenville for everything this year. I don't know why they did that. To me, they should have split it, especially between like basketball. We played home and home, which makes sense. Football, we played there. Baseball, we're playing there, which I'm sure the people in Greenville are loving that this year. But next year, they're going to have to come here and everything. So I don't know. I think the schedulers should have probably split football and baseball so that you would have one at home one year and the other on the road. But they didn't ask me, so.
Maybe they wanted to give them a little advantage since where they're newcomers to the league, but
they're not going to think it's an advantage next year, though.
Yeah. Well, they're top 10 ranked team now in the country. They took 2 out of 3 from FAU this past weekend, and looking at their schedule, they've got Elon and Old Dominion this weekend. This week, midweek. So they got 2 midweeks before we head down there to take them on. I would love nothing more to take that series this weekend. If we don't take any other series the rest of the year, I'd be happy to take this one.
I mean, coming into this season, we really wanted to be in a different place coming into this weekend, didn't we? So my take on, and it's so funny because the two fan bases are at each other. Just go on social media, go on Twitter, and be talking about the Niners and make some half reference to the Pirates, and suddenly they're in your mentions. I don't get it. I mean, you saw that, Kevin, earlier this year. The baseball team put out a graphic that we were leading the country in strikeouts at that moment, and we were. And suddenly ECU people are in the mentions. First of all, I think some of them struggle to read, but it's okay. Reading comprehension and math are difficult things. But yeah, then they start chirping at you on Twitter about that's not right. It's Arkansas. Did you read?
Well, counting in the greater than and less than symbol is probably tough for some of those folks. But
I don't know why they care. That's all I'm saying is I don't know why they care. I don't know why they're so interested.
I do. I know.
I don't go comment on ECU's baseball account.
No, I don't care, but I know why I think I know why, but
I whatever. Well, it's like, and then they start commenting on softball only when they're playing us. Whatever. But hey, Kevin, it's not a rivalry. Not a rivalry. Jeez.
Right.
This weekend, who knows what's going to happen this weekend? I'm sure Cole will be out there on Friday, and he'll be up against Savage, and ECU is their fans. They've been upset with Godwin this year already. They're top 10 in the country. They've won a ton of ball games. They're pissed off about it. I don't know. Let's just go down there and play the games. And
yeah, I've seen. I mean, we'll definitely be the underdog, but I've seen a lot of crazier things happen over the years. So we got a shot. Like last year, I mean, we won some improbable games last year that we had our backs against the walls, and yeah. In this sport, you're only as good as your starting pitcher for the next day, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. I just hope we get to continue having these matchups for the foreseeable future, because I think it's fun having in-state matchups. Hopefully they can keep their enrollment up high enough to continue to be a functioning university for, in the foreseeable future. So let's talk about this is what we wanted to get into tonight, because the Major League Baseball season is underway, and now all the minor league teams are in full swing, and we had already actually planned to talk about our Pro Niners tonight, but then it got even more imperative that we do so, because this afternoon, I don't know, Kevin, what about 2:00 or so, maybe? Everybody else was geeking out over some eclipse or something like that. And about the time everybody was trying to go outside and not look at the sun, we were geeking out because news was breaking that Josh Maciejewski, Niner lefty, draft class of 2018, has been called up to the Yankees. And their game is underway. Josh is on the roster. He is with the Yankees. So I imagine right about now it's 6:45 as we're recording this. Josh is probably sitting down in the Yankee Stadium bullpen even as we speak. So that's why Kevin's got the Yankees cap on tonight. And man, we couldn't be happier for Josh.
That's right. I'm keeping an eye on the game here. I'm going to go turn it on in a little bit. But, yeah, he is listed in the bullpen tonight for the New York Yankees. Nestor Cortez is on the mound. He's pitched 3 innings, shutout ball. So, I don't know. Hopefully we'll get to see Josh in action tonight. You're interesting. I started to see some rumors online earlier today, and then we confirmed with our sources that his family was in New York, and but we couldn't say anything until it was official. So um, that was it was great. I'm so happy for him and his family. Um, he's been in the minors. He's been working his way up through the minor leagues since 2018. He played for the Staten Island Yankees, which no longer exist. He played for the Charleston River Dogs, who is now an affiliate for the Rays. It's not the Yankees, but he's probably played for more minor league teams. He's probably played for 7 or 8 minor league teams in his since 2018, and to see him finally get the call up is really really cool. And I'm really excited and happy for his family, and happy for Josh. He was a great player for us. He was a horse for us his senior year, and we rode him on Friday. He was our Friday stud, and I think he has the record for most games started as a 49er pitcher. So, along with a few other records in our record book, but that's the one that stands out as he started the most games on the mound for us in 49er history. But once again, happy for his family. I hope he can get in tonight. Hope he can make a name for himself in the big leagues and stay on the roster the rest of the season.
Just thinking about Josh's journey, out of the Raleigh area, Panther Creek High School, came in as a freshman, and those, going into the 2017 season, I would imagine we probably anticipated Josh being like our main guy going into 2017. And the guy that ended up being our main guy was Colton Laws, who went on to get drafted by the Blue Jays that year. Colton Laws had one of the better years that I can recall a Niner pitcher having. And by the end of that season, honestly, Josh was really on the struggle bus. And never a talent issue, but bad headspace, lack of confidence. I don't know, what have you, whatever happens in these situations. But he closed out the 2017 season on a really, really rough note, particularly down at the conference tournament at Southern Miss. And I remember us having this conversation like, oh my gosh, where does Josh go from here? This is like a turning point in Josh's baseball career. Where is he going to go after the way this season ended for him and the what had to be heartbreaking way that the 2017 season ended for him? And well, he answered that question because he came back in 2018 and was just lights out, dominant pitcher. He was the guy in 2018. He gets drafted in the 10th round by the Yankees. And all that dude has done since then is just grind. Like you said, nobody's played for more teams than he has. And they sent him, they would send him up, they would send him down. They would send him up, they would send him down. And he just kept going. And now we're here just a few weeks into 2024. And even right now, as we speak, he's sitting in the pen at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah. Kind of gives me goosebumps when I hear you say that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, quite the journey. And like you said, that 2017 season, it ended rough. He got taken out of the starting rotation. It was a back end, turned into a back end guy, bullpen guy. And in that conference tournament, he gave up a walk-off home run to end our season. I mean, that's a harsh note to end the season on, as a pitcher. And he bounced back. He used that as fuel, and he pushed, and he had one of the best. Colton Laws had a great season before him, and he had a similar season that next year. Broke the record.
Let's be honest here. That 2017 campaign would have broken some people.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people.
To go from the weekend rotation to the back end to to the bullpen, coming in a key situation in the conference tournament, and you give Was it a 3-run or was it a grand slam? I don't know. It was bad, whatever it was. It ended our season.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it didn't end our season. We had one more. It forced game 2 against Southern Miss. I think I have that right. And then that's when they pitched the guy that had pitched like 3 innings all year and couldn't throw the ball more than about 35 miles an hour, and he just wrecked us for 9 innings.
He was Cy Young for 9 innings. Yeah.
Yes, he was Cy Young for 9 innings. So I don't think that walk off wasn't like the season ending, but it set up the season ending. But either way, it was bad, and that would have his season. It was into his season. And like I said, I think that would have broken plenty of people. But Josh is not one of them. And to see him come back in 2018 and do what he did, and then to watch him grind it out for these past really 6-7 years in the minors. And now he's at Yankee Stadium. That's just flipping fantastic, man. I couldn't be more happy for him.
I think about that time we saw him at Night Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool to see him come down and pitch in Charlotte as a professional, as a AAA pitcher. And that was a few years ago too. He was in AAA a few years ago with the Yankees, and just now getting up to call to the big league. So that's a lesson in perseverance and hard work for you. That's right there.
Back in the 21 season when we started down at South Florida in that tournament with South Florida, Louisville, and Connecticut, sitting there opening day of the season, and I hear a familiar voice behind me, and I turn around and I look, and Josh Maciejewski sitting right behind me, and he was just taking in the Niners game there, and so I got to talk to him a little bit there. But it's just great to see these guys succeed. The first major league Niner we've had since John Maine in 2013, I believe.
Right. He pitched. John Maine pitched for the Mets, Marlins, and I believe he signed a minor league deal with the Yankees before he retired. But Josh, he is a 49er. He was I think he was at that South Florida game down there, basketball, when we played at South Florida early this year in basketball. Because I think he lives in Tampa, because the Yankees training facility is there in Tampa. He lives down there now. And, good to see him supporting the Niners, basketball, baseball, and I'm hoping we can get to see him play in the big leagues one day. So sometime soon, hopefully.
Yeah, that's I think what I got to do, Kevin. This is a little out of character for me, but I think I'm going to have to get a Yankees cap and see if I can't get it signed. I mean, why not?
There you go.
I mean, I'm not ever going to wear it in public, but
you're gonna put it on that shelf right behind you there and display it for our podcast.
Yeah, if you look right there, some of McCabe's minor league hats right there. So I could add a Yankees hat up there. That's a good idea. I think I need to do that. So we'll be keeping track of him. Which, by the way, all this Pro Niner stuff, we've been tweeting about it forever, just because what else do we have to do? But we're always giving shout outs to our guy Joe Templin. He has been doing a phenomenal job last couple of years, doing a Pro Niner update about once a month once the season gets started. So Joe will be on top of all this as the season progresses. We do our part. We try to keep retweet things as we find them and stuff like that. But like once a month, he'll do like a good solid recap of that player's month, or all the Pro Niners months in the minors and now in the majors. So and also in the record book that's been updated the past couple of years, as far as they've got all the Pro Niners that have ever played professional baseball in the record book and all their stats. So if you're curious about anything Pro Niner related, jump in that record book, and you could be in there for hours, I'm sure. There's tons of stuff in there to review. The other thing we try to keep updated is we actually do have a website. We don't always talk about it a lot, but DiamondNinerReport.com is a thing. And there is a tab on there for Pro Niners, and we do have it updated as of this very moment. Or actually, you know what? I need to.
You got to change it now, right?
Well, it was up to date as a few hours ago. I don't have Josh listed as MLB, so I need to update that. But you can take a look at the guys that we have playing all across professional baseball, wherever they happen to be. Give you a rundown. Jake Cunningham starting the season in Single A. That's Delmarva. I think you said what, Kevin? They'll be here the end of next month in Kannapolis. Is that right?
May. I believe they'll be here in May. Right?
Okay. Yeah. So sometime in May. Yeah, it's April 8th. So, this is Jake's first full season. So hopefully Jake gets enough run to make it to Kannapolis. Don't pull a Nate Furman where you get called up the week before you're coming to Kannapolis. We were excited for Nate, and then we realized what that meant, and then we were like, crap. So, Nate,
if you do pull a Nate Furman and get called up, I think you'll be playing Aberdeen. I believe that's where Coach Miney is pitching coach now, former 49er pitching coach. He's with Aberdeen, so there's consolation if you do get called up before. We hope to see you, though. We hope to see you.
We hope to see Jake in K-Town. This will be his first full season. Can't wait to see what he does with it. There was some positive stuff coming out of spring training about what Jake does. I mean, what was his nickname here, Kevin?
Well, they started calling him last year. They started calling him tool. What was it?
The tool shed.
Tool shed. Yeah, there you go. Tool shed.
The tool shed. So it's going to be fun to see what he can do with a full season of minor league baseball. Can't wait. And a good as far as organizations go right now, Baltimore's on the upswing. As far as the players that they have in that organization. So be exciting to see how Jake fits into that.
Yeah, a lot of young players and coming through that system, that organization. So, they're going to be good for years to come. Hopefully he's a part of it. And, hope to see him in K-Town.
Yeah, and to put this in context, what we're talking about with Jake, how long did we say that Josh probably needed to get away from the Yankees if he was ever going to go up? I mean, we said that on multiple occasions. And once again, here we are. We're wrong. Happens all the time. We're used to it.
We have proven that we can be wrong from time to time.
No, I don't think we've proven that we can be wrong. I think we've proven that we're good at it.
We are. You're right.
Yeah. We not only are capable, we're way more than capable. We're good at it when it comes to being wrong. Yeah. That's why we have producer Brad. He drops things in the chat and tells us where we're wrong.
Yeah. Well, we did talk about this before the season. When Garrett Cole got hurt, I said Josh is an injury or a doubleheader away from getting a call up, and it happened a little sooner than I thought. But yeah, he's up there now. So I think they've only had one day off since the season started. So maybe they're making some moves and trying to get some guys some rest or whatever. But I'm so happy to see that. And we've been wrong, but we've also been right before.
Well, broken clock twice a day.
That's right.
Some other guys got on the list here. Kind of a fun new ad. This was a more recent development. Jack Dragum got signed to independent ball, the Lincoln Salt Dogs. And I think that's a great fit for Jack because, Jack was low key one of the, the coaching staff wouldn't say low key, but Jack never collected a lot of accolades. He wasn't going to win your awards in the league or anything like that. But Jack was always like a key piece of that team, of those teams. Lockdown shortstop. I mean, he hit 305 for his career. I think Jack deserves a shot. I wish it was with an affiliated team, but let's go see what he can do with the Lincoln Salt Dogs. It's kind of a fun name, but I think Jack has deserved and continues to deserve a shot to play pro baseball. What he does with that opportunity be up to him, of course, but I thought he was worth a flyer for somebody.
Right, and looks like they get started up in May, so we'll try to keep track of them as much as we can. They play the Kansas City Monarchs. They're in their league, and some of these minor league teams that are unaffiliated now used to be affiliated when the MLB cut a bunch of those. They cut 40 teams. But yeah, some of these cities had affiliated teams, and now they have unaffiliated pro teams, and there's a lot of good baseball outside of affiliated ball. We've seen with the Gastonia team and the High Point team, High Point Rockers. There's a lot of good baseball. Those guys are like AA, AAA caliber ball players.
Which, by the way, does that Gastonia club, do they have a name yet?
Not yet. They're still a Gastonia baseball club. Which
we might as well drop that on this show. There's a Niner connection there. As part of the ownership group for that is Palmer Knight, Austin's dad. So there's like Niner connections to the Gastonia. So it seems like maybe we need to go out there when that goes down. We need to go hang around there some.
I'll definitely be getting some gear.
Yeah.
When it comes out. But
hey, you know what we should do? We should start a Twitter account. Start tweeting it. No, wait, we kind of already got our hands full.
Yeah. I'm on Twitter too much as it is.
Correct. Agreed.
Speaking of Gastonia, Zach Jarrett played for them for 2 years. The Gastonia Grizzlies, or not Grizzlies, the Gastonia Honey Hunters.
The Honey Hunters.
Recently, he, Logan Scherer, and Brandon Vogler have started a podcast called Ball Was Life, and they've had TJ Nichting on there, a lot of former Niners. Brock Hutchins has been on there, but I listened to their last episode last week, and he said he was going to retire from baseball, and he's going back for a sports marketing degree. He's pursuing his sports marketing degree, and in the meantime, he's doing baseball lessons and stuff like that. So unofficially, I guess this is an announcement that Zach Jarrett's retired from pro ball as of now.
We're big fans of Zach Jarrett. He's gonna do great at whatever he decides to go do next. Zach, he's a winner, fierce competitor. So whatever he decides to get into next, he's going to be great at it. Can't wait to see what that is.
He's pretty good at podcasting too. So go check out their podcast. It's called Ball Was Life, and they do a great job with their podcast. So
you may tune into this show next week, and we're gone, and Zach Jarrett's here.
Yeah, they could definitely they could run this show for sure. But they talk a little bit of Niner baseball. Their stories from their time playing, but it's good. It's good overall sports podcast. So it's good.
Producer Brad will still be here, but we'll be fired. It's okay. It's fine. Our guy Donye Evans starting the season, single A, drafted by the Detroit Tigers last year in the 16th round. That's the Lakeland Flying Tigers. I got that right?
Yeah.
Reese Hampton.
He did. It's Florida State League. He got his first outing this weekend. I think he punched out 2 in his 1 inning of work this weekend. Opening weekend, but yeah, we've got Donye, and we got 3 guys in the Florida State League this year. I hate to skip around.
No, go ahead.
But they're going to face off each other. So we got Donye with the Lakeland Fighting Tigers. And then we've got Wyatt Hudapole, who made his first professional start this weekend with the St. Lucie Mets. I believe he went 3 innings, struck out 6 in his debut with the St. Lucie Mets, and so he's going to be down the road from Donye, and then got Paxton Thompson, our boy. He's with Clearwater, the Clearwater Threshers. He's the low A with the Phillies. And he got some MLB spring training time. He made 2 or 3 appearances on the MLB spring training games. So it's good to see that from him, undrafted out of college and signed as a free agent.
Now we got to start bugging him about using Cold Lake, Minnesota as his warm-up music in the minors.
Yeah, well, I think if he goes up a level, he'll be in the league with the Ballers. So we'll have to go influence him on that one. You got some influence over there at Cannonball Stadium. You can have him play it anyway, right?
I don't think so. I mean, we could just try to bribe Trevor. Maybe it would happen. So Florida State League would be.
Yeah, it'd be fun to watch when those guys play each other. Hopefully, they can go back or play each other face to face.
Yeah, hopefully we get some pictures from that. That'd be really cool. Let's see here. Kind of working our way through the list. Nate Furman back at High A. Lakeland Captains. That's Lake County. Lakeland. Lake County Captains. Thank you. High A affiliate of Cleveland Guardians. I still want to say Indians. I swear. Cleveland. I have to remind myself to say Guardians. The Cleveland Guardians, and I think Nate. Let's see if Nate can make the jump up this year, because he kind of got. I don't know. He kind of went through a little funk there last year at times, but let's see if Nate can get going and get up to Double A this year, because that dude's going to continue to grind.
Yeah, he tore up the Carolina League when we talked about this earlier. He tore it up in the Carolina League and ended up getting called up a week before he made it to Kannapolis, and then he was with Lake County, and he had some ups and downs there, but yeah, he's back there again.
They moved him up kind of fast, but I mean, you can't really blame him. I mean, he was, like you said, I mean, he was raking.
Yeah, and they moved him up about a week too fast, right?
For sure. Easily. I believe Fern hit a home run in spring training, didn't he?
Yeah, and on the backfields, yeah, that's awesome. And he actually got into a MLB game in spring training. I think he drew a walk in his at bat, but that's a good sign. He's getting ABs in the big league spring training game. So I think I saw the weather. The Lake County, they had snow going on opening day. Like the day before opening day, they had to cancel opening day because of snow. Definitely not baseball weather up there right now.
No. One that we're excited about. I mean, not that we're excited about all these, but one that we're kind of excited about because this has road trip potential is Cam Fisher. 4th round pick from the Astros, came through K-Town last year with the Woodpeckers, but now he's an Asheville tourist. So that's got lots of road trip potential, whether it's Asheville, Winston-Salem. Is that also Greenville?
Right?
Hickory. Yeah, that's got lots of road trip potential, and it's also really cool because I mean his family lives up in Knoxville, so being able to slide down 40 to Asheville will be. I would think they would do that quite a bit. So,
and Chip, that same stadium that Chip starred in Bull Durham in, that his scene in.
He starred in Bull Durham. Yes, you have to pause the movie to see where he was in it. But yes, Chip Fisher was in Bull Durham for at least a half a second.
He was when Crash went to Asheville and hit his dinger. break the record, and then he retired.
Yeah. So go
Chip
back
was
and
in
watch
that one.
that. Look for Chip Fisher. We're giving him crap for only being in the movie for half a second. How long were you in Bull Durham, Kevin?
I was not in it, but a lot of my little league
Me either.
team was in it. They were in
Yeah,
it.
the helicopter drop, right?
Yeah, the money drop scene.
Money drop.
They dropped the helicopter. Yeah. But,
Where were you that day?
I don't know. It was. They filmed it in October, and it was like pretty cold in that time of year. And I don't know. I'll probably play basketball or something. But
Yeah.
what's funny is all the scenes you can see some of the scenes you can see their breath in some of the scenes in Bull Durham.
Yeah. It's supposed to be in summer, but obviously filled in cold weather. So Cam will be up there in Asheville. Lots of road trip opportunities there to hopefully see Fish. He was tearing it up in spring training. There were multiple tweets from Astros accounts talking about the power he was hitting with. So if you want to see Fish in Asheville, you might want to do that. Maybe don't make plans to do that in August. Go ahead and start thinking about that. Spencer Geesting, we've got him. Let's see. Why can't I think of the affiliate name?
He's in Hillsboro. He's with the Hillsboro Hops.
Hillsboro Hops. Thank you.
In the North, was it the Northwest
That's the
League?
Northwest League.
He's back with Hill. He spent all last season there. He hadn't pitched yet, but he is. He's on their roster again, and he is teammates with former Niner Gino Groover, or James Groover. Sorry, they are teammates again up there in Hillsboro.
I like their hats.
I do too. It's a
Yeah.
Their color scheme is pretty cool too. The neon green with navy or the blue.
Yeah,
And white blue.
I like that. I like their color scheme for sure. Hillsboro Hops.
Cool.
We
Reese Hampton played there too. Reese Hampton played there also.
Reese Hampton did. Reese Hampton's been everywhere. Which, as we mentioned, the aforementioned Reese Hampton is with the party animals again this year. Sort of they play the foil to the Savannah Bananas, but they're not. It's not a Washington Generals type thing.
No.
Not at all. They're supposed to try to win.
Yeah, both the teams win. I mean, they're both trying to win. Not like the Washington Generals who's laying down for the Globetrotters. But yeah, and I think last year I believe he led Banana Ball with the batting average, most homers, most runs batted in. But they keep all kinds of other crazy stats like trick plays and stuff like that too. But the hardcore baseball stats are what he's leading the Banana Ball in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
gonna tell you this.
Successful career there.
Yeah, and I believe this, and I can believe this as much as I want because nobody can prove me wrong. Reese Hampton, the way he plays center field, the way he hits, the way he competes. If Reese Hampton was 6'2", we'd have already been talking about him in the bigs. But Reese is undersized, always has been, but he never let that stop him. Certainly didn't while he was here. If Reese was 6'2", 220, we'd already be talking about him in the bigs.
Right. You're right, and he's had a successful career. And we've talked to him since playing for Bananas. We need to get him on a show and talk to his time with the Bananas because he said they treat them much better with the Bananas and then affiliated baseball when he was. Now that was before all the rule changes,
right? But, before the new agreement, yeah.
So they're treating him 10 times better than he was treated as a minor leaguer in the affiliated system.
First with the Tigers, and then who did he spend time with? Was it there was a stop before after the Tigers? Who was it?
Diamondbacks. He signed with
Diamondbacks. Yeah, he had a cup of coffee with the Diamondbacks.
And Yeah, so and he's playing in front of sold out crowds every single night.
Yeah. I think they missed the evaluation on Reese Hampton just because he doesn't fit the mold. Just my take.
Yeah, I agree. I think he could help some team win games. But yeah, it doesn't matter what we say, right?
It never does, man. No, nobody cares what our take is. Producer Brad doesn't even care. He's just shrugging at us like, "Yep, you're right. Don't." Let's see. Keep going here. We already mentioned these guys, but about Quentin Martinez. Quentin signed a free agent deal with the Angels. He's starting the season in High A. So that was
Tri-City Dust Devils. Tri-City Dust Devils. He's playing for
the Tri-City Dust Devils. You got to love minor league names.
Do you know where Tri-City is? Where they play games? I don't know.
I do not. Somewhere near 3 cities. It's like on The Simpsons, Springfield. Well, where is Springfield? Well, it could be any number of places.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. But speaking of Springfield, that's a good segue to our Aaron McKeithen is with Springfield.
See how I did that?
That's good segue.
AMAC's already gone yards this season.
And Pasco, Washington is where Tri-City Dust Devils Stadium is.
Okay, I was never going to come up with that.
Me either. But yeah, AMAC hit one out of the stadium this weekend. It's a way to. He was injured last year. He had a thumb injury, hand injury.
Mm-hmm.
He was injured a lot last season, and that's a great way to bounce back. And with the first Double-A at bat, hit one out of the stadium. Went 3 for 4 also in that game, with a couple singles and a homer. So good start to the season for Aaron McKeithen, and hopefully continue. Looks like they got a rotation behind the plate. Maybe he can squeak in DH some here and there and behind the plate. Looking forward to seeing him in Double-A this season.
Yeah. And really we talk about this all the time, but Double-A is kind of like the jumping off point. That's like the separator. When you get to Double-A, if you can do it in Double-A, you can do it. You can do it anywhere. And you hear guys talk about this, like that, like when you get to Double-A, especially with like with the pitchers, like the pitchers in Double-A are just absolutely filthy. And if you can hit that stuff, then you can be okay. And if you get to Double-A and you can do your thing there, then you can go up.
Right. They said there's not much difference between Double-A and big leagues. The stuff there is similar, but didn't mean to move on from Quentin Martinez so quickly, but he is with the High A Tri-City Dust Devils. He got in the game this past weekend in relief and didn't allow a run or hit. So off to a good start there in High A for Q.
Yeah. Then what about our guy Bryce McGowan? Bryce is in Double-A to start the season. Colorado Rockies, the Hartford Yard Goats.
Yeah. They
I think we've said this before, but they are one of my favorite. I love their cap. I love everything about the Yard Goats.
Yeah, so Hartford, they brought back the Hartford Whalers colors, the green and blue, and made the Double-A baseball team have that color scheme, and it looks really nice. So he hasn't pitched yet this season, but he is in their bullpen for the Yard Goats, and we'll certainly keep you updated on when we see him getting some action.
Yeah. Didn't mean to do this way. It just worked out, but our last update is going to be a little bit of a low note. Dave McCabe, just to me, we've been saying since Dave was 18 years old, or when he came through with the Ontario Blue Jays, that Dave looks like a big leaguer, and he plays like a big leaguer. Dave was in high A last year, and honestly he was able to go to the fall league. So he went to the Arizona Fall League, which was a big deal to get to do that, and was set to likely begin the year in Double A, but unfortunately had to have Tommy John. And so Dave is last I heard, Dave got married, and he is down at the Braves facility down in Florida rehabbing. It's going to be a while before Dave gets to swing a bat again. I know they'll do. I mean, when you're talking about getting rehabbed at a major league facility, you're talking world-class stuff here. But like, he had this surgery, like, I don't know, it was right before college baseball season started. So it was like maybe end of January, 1st February, I'm guessing. Ran into him at the Hayes, and he had his arm all bandaged up. So Dave's going to be on the shelf for a little while this year. And hopefully by the end of the season, maybe though, maybe Dave can at least be back getting some hacks or something like that. But it's going to be a recovery process for Dave this year.
Yeah, you hate to see that, but at least they caught it like during the off season. He's got a little head start on getting back. So hopefully he has a good recovery process, and like you said, he got married in off season, so he got a lifestyle change, and he's lots of cool things going on for him, and hopefully he can get back to playing ball soon. We're gonna definitely keep you updated when we hear stuff.
I will tell you one cool thing. One cool thing from the Arizona Fall League, when those players, I mean, that's a pretty prestigious invite to get to go down there. Each player, they give all those guys, and I'm going to get the number wrong. I don't remember if it was 30 bats. Was it 45 bats? They got a number of bats given to them by Major League Baseball. And what do you do with all these bats? And anyway, guys usually have the specific kind of lumber that they want to work with. Well, here's what the prospects did at the Arizona Fall League, and David was participating in this. Those guys signed all their bats and went around like elementary school Valentine's Day mode and traded bats with all these guys. So David came home with let's just say 30 bats signed by all these top prospects in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Which I thought was brilliant.
Yeah, because, Bryce Harper played in the Arizona Fall League. Mike Trout did.
Yeah, they all did.
A lot of the stars. Yeah, all the stars. It's so yeah, those bats will they'll come in handy for David down the road, I'm sure.
I mean, what a man cave edition, right? It's like, yeah. Hey, I'll sign all mine and hand them out, and we'll trade them, and so you come back with all these with all these signed bats. Really cool.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on the Yankee game here. Nestor Cortez is at 67 pitches as a starter. The Yankees are up 7-0. So I don't know how long they're going to ride.
7-0 seems like a good opportunity to work in a guy who's brand new.
Right. Nestor's got a one-hitter going. He's only thrown 67, so I'm guessing they're going to let him go.
What inning is it?
A few more. It's in the 6th inning.
He's thrown 67 pitches in the 6th inning. That's what they call efficient, I think.
Yeah, 67 pitches, 47 strikes. So
he's feeling good.
Yeah, hopefully the Yankees will pile it on a little bit more, and we'll get Josh in some mound time here in a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it. That's what we're here for. All right. Well, that's our Pro Niners list. I think we covered everyone, Kevin. I think we talked about everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be fun to follow them. Niner baseball really is a 12-month a year type of thing these days. And that's awesome. And it's only getting better because I think we're going to be sitting here in 3 years, and we're not going to be talking about one guy in the bigs. We're going to be talking about, a handful of guys in the bigs.
Right.
And that's going to be.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time since we had somebody to pull for in the big leagues. I remember I had John Maine on my fantasy baseball team back in the day, but maybe I'll go pick up Josh Maciejewski on my fantasy baseball team here.
All right. How many leagues are you in, Kevin?
Actually, I'm not in a league this year.
Not in a single one?
Not in any. Yeah, I had to. I've taken the year off.
You had to cut something, right?
Past couple of years, I haven't played, so it's fun. I enjoy it. I think my son's in one now. I'm gonna ask him to pick him up for me.
Yeah, that'd be good. All right, folks. We took a little extra time tonight, but I don't care. We had a lot. If we didn't have so many Pro Niners to talk about, we could have done this show much quicker. So we will never complain about that. We had lots of guys to talk about, and it was fun doing it.
We had one going to the show, so we had to talk a lot about that. Yeah.
We'll always do extra time talking about a guy going to the show. I can't wait to do it again. So, yeah, we are not apologizing for talking about Josh Maciejewski tonight. All right, folks, if you've enjoyed this, if you're watching on YouTube, click the subscribe button, turn on notifications, get notified of new content. Same thing on Spotify or wherever you happen to find this fine podcast. You can find Diamond Niner Report all over social media. We are on Twitter. We are on Facebook. We are also on Instagram. We love hearing from you folks. Feedback's always appreciated. We love seeing you out at the ballpark. So if you're old-fashioned like we are, just say hello when you bump into us. So for Kevin, for producer Brad, this has been Nick saying we'll see you at the Hayes.